When it was revealed we were getting Jedi and Sith Evie and Wookie Team Leader 2 Star Wars mashups, I started thinking to myself, what other Star Wars characters and Fortnite characters could mash together for a skin? So today I'm going to talk about these Star Wars mashups I would love to see during the Galactic Battle season or at some point in the future in Fortnite. Now before people freak out and be like, oh my god, TuneSpider, we don't even have the actual character in the game, why would you want a mashup? So I'm going to just clarify at once, I want the actual Star Wars character in the game first before they get a mashup. These are just fun concepts I would love to see sometime in the future. Now before I talk about these Star Wars mashups, if there's any you would love to see in the game, be sure to let me know in the comments. If you enjoy my videos, be sure to use code TuneSpider in the Fortnite item shop to support me. And now let's get started. So the first Fortnite character I'm going to start with is Hope. Now you might be thinking hers is obvious, just make her a Jedi, maybe pair her with Rey from the movies, but there's a Star Wars character I actually think that would work better for her, and that is Sabine Wren. And I have a couple reasons why. Sabine was part of the Rebels. Hope was a rebel in Chapter 5, especially Chapter 5 Season 1, part of the Underground team. They both love graffiti, they're graffiti artists, and in my opinion, Hope gives me more of like a Mandalorian warrior type vibe compared to a Jedi. I think she could have a really fun and creative and cool looking Mandalorian suit, similar to Sabine Wren. Now moving on to Jones, you might be thinking Luke Skywalker. I feel like that's the obvious answer as well, but I'm actually leaning towards Han Solo. There's just something about Jones that doesn't really give me a Jedi vibe. He gives me more of a rebel vibe in the Star Wars universe, and it definitely looked like that's the role he would play in the Fortnite trailer. So for me, this is the mashup I would rather see for this character. Now when it comes to Peely, this one was a tough one. There was two characters I was deciding between, but I ended up going with Palpatine, and his name would be Peelpatine. I really like the play on words for this mashup. I don't know, it just, to me, it just goes so well together. Like Peely in a black cloak with lightning powers, I just love the idea of that, and I think this would be a really fun mashup skin. Now the other character I was thinking for Peely was Yoda, but instead I think that should go to Big Dill, and there's one reason why, and it's very obvious. They're both green. Now of course I don't think they have the same personality or anything, but I think it'd be hilarious mashing these two characters together as well. The next mashup I think is very obvious as well, and that would be Fish Stick and Jar Jar Binks. I mean, the writing's on the wall for this one, both sea creatures. I think this one just makes a lot of sense as well. The next one I'm going to bring up is one that's actually one of my personal favorites. I love the idea of this, and it'd be really cool if we got this mashup as a skin, and that's Outlaw Midas and Kylo Ren. Yeah, their hair length did have a part to play in this, and their back and forth of being good and evil. I like that as well for Outlaw Midas. I think it fits the character, and overall I think he would have a really cool Kylo Ren outfit, especially if his helmet was gold. But the next mashup I want to talk about is another meme type mashup, and that would be Meowscles and Chewbacca. Now I know you're thinking, well, we just got Wookie Team Leader, why are we doing another mashup? But that was just for Wookiees, it wasn't specifically Chewbacca. This one is specifically for the two characters. But as far as Wookiees go, there is another character I would love to see a mashup for, and that would be Trog and a Wookie. Then you could have your own little Wookie trio or squad in Fortnite, and I think that would be a lot of fun. I think this next mashup would go very well together, and that's Dummy and C-3PO. I mean, just looking at these two characters, they definitely make sense as a mashup in my opinion. They honestly might fit a little too well together. So picking a character for Luke Skywalker was pretty difficult, not gonna lie. So I was thinking to myself, who would actually look really cool as a Jedi Knight with Luke, and I think that would be Drift. And I think it'd be cool to also mix in Drift's outfit, whether it's his Fox Clan mask or his colors. I think that could combine with a really cool Luke Skywalker outfit and make a really cool mashup skin. Then a Sith that could have an interesting mashup is Count Dooku and Sergeant Winter, and the main reason why I picked them is because they have white facial hair. I think it would just be really funny seeing Sergeant Winter in Count Dooku's outfit. My next Star Wars mashup for Boba Fett I think would be paired with Black Knight. I would love to see Boba Fett's armor with Black Knight's design. I think that would look really cool, and then mashing up their helmets together as well could be a really cool design. I think a Black Knight Boba Fett mix could end up being a really popular mashup skin. And another one I think could be very popular would be Kit and Grogu. These two would definitely be an adorable mashup, and to go with that I think Bushranger and Ewoks would be another adorable mashup skin. Now when it comes to Imperial Troopers or Clone Troopers, I decided to go with Skull Trooper. A, they both got Trooper in the name. B, I think the skull design from Skull Trooper would look really cool on the Imperial Trooper suits. I think that would be a popular skin as well. Jules and Bo-Katan is another mashup I would love to see. Bo-Katan's helmet has the owl design. Jules, of course, has that pet metal owl that we know from Chapter 2 Season 3 as the back bling. Also her glider that also went with her grapple gun. Plus we have a Scrap Knight Jules style, so we've seen her in the armor. We know she looks pretty cool in an armored suit, so I think she would look really good with Bo-Katan. Another play on words mashup that I think would be interesting is Rex in Captain Rex. It's pretty obvious why I picked them is because of the name, and I think it'd be pretty funny seeing them as a mashup. Another fun mashup that'd be sort of like a meme, but also would be pretty cool, would be Mandalorian and Mancake. I think Mancake's design as a Mandalorian would be a pretty interesting skin. But another one of my favorites that I came up with, in my opinion, kind of have like similar story arcs. That's Daigo and Anakin Skywalker. They both started as good guys. Anakin was the chosen one, then got corrupted into evil. So I think they would end up being a good mashup together. And then pivoting off of that, the mashup for Darth Vader, I'm thinking Merry Marauder's burnt style. Especially if we can get a Darth Vader helmet or suit that's damaged and we can see the burnt Merry Marauder. I think that would be so funny. I feel like that would be a clever mashup. But another one for Darth Vader would be Omega, because I would love to see the lights coming off of Darth Vader's suit. Another mashup that I think makes sense would be the Night Rose and Ahsoka. Ahsoka being like the most popular Grey Jedi. Maybe a route Night Rose would go if she was in the Star Wars universe. And I just feel like design wise they could mash up pretty well. These next two are a Jedi Master and Apprentice that I grew up with, so I had to pair them together in this way. Tomato Head and Qui-Gon Jinn, and then Beef Boss and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I know some people might not want to see them as meme mashup skins, but they just go so well together. I had to put them like this. And then another mashup I think is kind of cool. It's mainly because of the spikes on the helmet, but Rust Lord and Darth Maul. And then of course I can't forget another storyline character, Kendo. I would actually pair him with Ezra Bridger. I feel like that's a good Jedi that would mesh as well with Kendo, and I feel like they could have a really cool design. Another underrated character that I would love to see a Fortnite skin for in general is Asajj Ventress, and I think pairing with her would be Hayes or Grimoire. I feel like either of them could have cool designs together. No specific characters for these two, but I think they could work well with these designs. Hush and Inquisitor, and then Jade as a Jedi. Whether you want to make her more like Rey, or if you want to just give her her own design, I think she would look good with a Jedi design, and I think Hush would be awesome as an Inquisitor. This character is a little more niche, but I think they could be a great design. I think their stories could kind of fit a little bit. Valeria and Darth Lumia. And then based off designs, I think Chaos Agent and Cad Bane would go very well together as well. Chaos Agent with Cad Bane's hat, their designs would mesh together. I think it ended up being a really cool Fortnite skin. Now there was a couple Star Wars characters I wasn't quite sure I could mash with, so I'm gonna just list them off, but I'm not 100% positive on these, so if you think of better ones, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. But I'm thinking both are princesses, Princess Lexa and Princess Leia. And of course I wasn't thinking of like actual Star Wars ships during this, because I know Jones and Princess Lexa wouldn't be together, so that wouldn't make sense. I was more just thinking because they're both princesses. And then Bright Bomber and Padme. It was tough thinking of one for Padme, but Bright Bomber is like one of the most popular female skins of all time in Fortnite, so I thought maybe they could have a fun mashup. Maybe Padme and Bright Bomber's suit in different colors with it. Aura and Mara Jade. Now that's kind of another niche character, but that is actually Luke Skywalker's wife. I feel like Aura could be a good mashup for her, and part of it is because they both have red hair, I'm gonna be honest. Another niche mashup would be Tex and Cobb Vanth. Both are sheriffs. I feel like that would be pretty funny to see them as a mashup. And then last but not least, Highwire and Jyn Erso. But there you have it. Those are all of my Star Wars Fortnite mashups that I could think of. I know that's a long list, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some entertainment out of it. Of course, let me know down in the comments any mashups you think of. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. If you'd like to join my Discord server, that link is going to be in the description. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.